this is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, May 13th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, woo, happy day. Dow's up 433 points. Yep. But Tesla, that keeps going down with a week-to-date loss of about 14, almost 15%. And there's the guy that came out and brought Bitcoin down real hard, saying that, hey, you can't buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. And the cryptocurrencies have taken a hit. How bad is it going to be? We got the numbers in the Trends Journal on Bitcoin, where we see that going. And, you know, the bull market, they think it's going to keep running, and you know what that is. Yeah, and of course it's going to keep running as long as interest rates stay low. And interest rates will stay low if inflation stays low. But of course that's another story, because the Dow was down yesterday 680 points. And why? Because it was the fastest growth of inflation only since 2008. Now what happened in 2008? Oh yeah, the panic of 08. Maybe we won't talk about that. No. We'll be gamblers in the market and just keep getting everybody in there to keep going, you know. Consumer Price Index spiked 4.2% from a year ago. And today, again, they just forgot this. We won't even talk about it. The markets went up, but let's see here. Producer prices in April, they only went up 6%. And again, we had the details in the Trends Journal. Again, you look at your Trends Journal. There's no other magazine like this. Go to church, go to hell. Yeah. And that's about Canada, how they lock down the place. These little stupid morons. Your death rates are minuscule in different provinces. I mean minuscule, like 0.00 something of COVID deaths. Oh, and the average age is only like 80.5 years old, you know. But that we won't talk about that, because those are only facts. Who wants to deal with the facts like they're not dealing with the facts that inflation is skyrocketing? And again, we have all the numbers there. So the Dow's down still 2% this week. And oil fell some 2%. And that's important because oil's going to tell you where things are going. And when a little later we'll talk about where things are going in the Middle East, and it's blowing up. Israel's at it again. And again, I can't say that. They'll call me an anti-Semite. Save your crap for somebody else. I'm not an anti-Semite because, number one, they're not Semites. They're Ashkenazi Jews. They're from Ashkenazi, from Khazar region. They're not Semites. Semites are from the Mesopotamia area. As I said, four of my last three girlfriends were Jewish. And by the way, you know why Jewish men die before their wives do? They want to. It's a joke. Take it easy. And again, if I call that Fauci off, Cuomoberg, and Draghi Stain, if they were, then they call me an anti-Semite. But I could call those miserable low-life Italians out, and that's okay. So race, creed, color has nothing to do with it. Crimes are crimes. Facts are facts. So moving on. Oil. Brent was down over 3.36% today. And it is very important, because if oil prices keep going up, this thing is going to go down. Going back to the Middle East, if this thing starts exploding, again, we pinpointed it in the Trends Journal when Netanyahu could not win again. What was this, the fourth election they've had, and he can't form a party? And we said, when all else fails, they take you to war. And that's exactly what he's done. The minds are off the election now. So if Iran gets involved in this, and this thing heats up, it's going to be terrible. Inflation surge rattles markets. That was the headline of today's paper about yesterday's markets. Consumer prices surged in April the most, blah, 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 the Labor Department, on and on. Higher prices for used autos surged 10%. Jump in Chinese factory prices hints at inflation rise. The hint? It's not a hint, it's real. How long will it last? I don't know how long it's going to last, but they're not going to go down. If they go down, the prices still went up so high. So if they go down somewhat, they're still way up there. And the weaker the currencies get, the more it costs you to buy what you're buying. And the currencies are going to go down. The countries this week released figures showing that prices of raw materials and goods leaving its factories rose 6.8% year on year in April. Tin scarcity lifts prices to new highs. Glencore is important. Warns cobalt supply chains give China upper hand in electric cars. Again, we're looking at global chip shortages in car supply chains. It follows a 50% rise in the price of cobalt. And China's controlling most of it. They got the deals in the Congo. Very important article. We've been writing a lot about this in the Trends Journal in the current issue. A lot about it. About the electric cars, what's needed in them, on and on and on, which ones are going to make it and which ones aren't. Toyota's doubling down on hybrid technology. We've been writing about this. They're on trend here. The ones that are going full battery with the current place of where batteries are, the technology, this is an 1800s invention, the battery. So where they are now, the cost of them and on, its hybrid is going to be beating the race. Lenders prepare for mortgage slowdown. Their demand is cool in coming months as a result of rising interest rates. When interest rates go up, this thing goes down. India's economy braces for more pain. Yep. Blockbuster earnings push U.S. groups to prepare share buyback bonanza. Isn't that great? Trump, all you Trump lovers, he gave them all those tax breaks. They bought $1 trillion worth of stock buybacks back then, and now they're doing it again. They're not investing, they're enriching. So the rich are getting richer, end of story, and it's right here. U.S. companies announced $484 billion in share buybacks in the first 4 months of this year, the highest total, you ready, in at least 2 decades. So the COVID war that these slimy, low-life pieces of garbage, scum, crap, murderers and thieves launched has only enriched the rich as everyone else got. 100 million people fell into poverty. I'm not making those numbers up. Those are facts. $10 trillion lost. Oh, no. The billionaires got $8 trillion richer. Everybody else lost. The bigs are getting bigger. I'm fighting this, and I need your help to win. Remember the election in Madrid, one word, freedom. And Ayuso, Díaz Ayuso, the woman, won big time. I'm fighting for freedom, so remember we're having a big rally, a festival. We're going to have great music, Smokey Hormel, hottest jazz cats, other cats here, man, Rob Norris, B.B. Farber, great other people playing, food, music, and great speakers. David Knight is going to be here. That's right. And others. So go to occupypeace.com, occupypeace.com, and put your money where your heart is. They're going to shut us down. I'm fighting for freedom. We're losing it, and we're winning. We could win just like they have in Spain. You could win in every country when we unite for freedom, peace, and justice. Cocktail hour. Moet Hennessy says customers are ready to splash out in revenge of pleasure Financial Times. Oh, this is today, right? Some call it the revenge of pleasure of, or the new roaring 20s. No kidding. We only forecast that in the Trends Journal how long ago? And the covers that we did of the roaring 2021s, do you remember those? Yeah. So we've been calling this. There you go. And now it's news. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, is why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. Most everything I'm talking about now, we had forecast. Long before it's happened. History before it happens. TrendsJournal.com. Tomorrow's news today. BlackRock's China launch to target vast pool of savers. Very important story. I'm only mentioning this because, number one, the banksters are in control. These things never happened before. You know, these wealth management groups and private equity groups and hedge funds, they're going into China big time. Remember one of our top trends for 2021. China 2021. All right? They could do anything that they want. It's all about money. And the big money's going there, all right? It shows you what's happening. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. Boy, you talk about facha brute, marona me, this one. Whew. But hey, and I call them all out, men and women, so take it easy. And even Lola, L-O-L-A, Lola. Now, you want to talk about a facha bruta, you don't know which side of the bruta she's on. But anyway, this Walensky, marona me, a fraud. And I'm going to prove it to you. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, defended the agency's COVID-19 mask guidance policies amid widespread criticism from lawmakers and health officials. This is from CNBC yesterday. These issues are complex. Okay, let's stop at complex. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, okay? So save your complex word and shove it. Number two, the science is evolving. No, you're making up shit. It's not evolving. You don't know what the hell it is, and you're just making crap up. The science is moving, and we are following. No, you haven't shown any science. How about the science that you're ignoring about the MIT study? That 6 feet is bullshit. Anyway, bureaucrats. Get it in your head, everybody. Bureaucrats. They suck off the public tit. These are people that can't get jobs in the real world, and when they do get a job, they get it in the club. She goes on to say, today we have vaccines available for 12 to 15-year-olds. So the agency guidelines are going to have to evolve again. Why are you vaccinating a 12 to 15-year-old when they're not getting the virus or dying of it, and it is asymptomatic, and if they do get it, it's only 99.997% recovery rate, according to your Centers of Disease Control. So this guy who interviewed us, Smith, I used to be on with when he was in Fox. He was wasn't one of the brighter guys, Shepard Smith. He goes on, he says, if everyone in his office was vaccinated, they still had to wear masks indoors. She explained that the CDC wants to ensure that vaccines are working against all variants circulating in the United States. This is yesterday. Today, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said on Thursday, this is Wednesday, fraud Walensky. Hey, maybe you and Lola should get together, you know? You'd be a happy pair. 2 pairs of bullshitters. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said on Thursday that people who are fully vaccinated no longer have to wear masks in many indoor situations. Anyone who's fully vaccinated can participate in indoor and outdoor activities, large and small, without wearing masks or physical distancing, CDC Director, full of crap, Rachel Walensky said. Again, this is the bullshit she spewed out yesterday. This whole COVID war is a lie. It's one big lie that has enriched the drug companies, and all your data is in the Trends Journal with the numbers and the facts. A new notice of the agency's website explains that masks should only be worn in planes, buses, trains, and other forms of public transportation. You ready? As well as in correctional facilities and homeless shelters. Hey, how come all the homeless people aren't dying all over the streets? I'll tell you why. Because the CDC lied. That's right, about how you get infections outside. They lied about the numbers. It's like 1%. But yet the morons, imbeciles, and low-life pieces of garbage scum crap who follow their leaders and obey orders and don't think for themselves believe the crap that they're spewing out. The CDC is greatly exaggerating the risk of COVID-19 transmission outdoors, claiming there's roughly a 10% chance when there's really the figure is less than 1%, a report said Tuesday. The higher federal figure seems to be a huge exaggeration, said Dr. Mudge Savek, a top infectious disease doctor at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, told the New York Times. Saying that less than 10% of COVID transmission occurs outdoors is akin to saying that sharks attack fewer than 20,000 swimmers a year. The actual world number is 150. It's both true and deceiving, the doctor said. They're liars. They're lying bastards and bitches. This is Rochelle Walensky shooting off her Walensky mouth March 30th, that all the media bowed down to and sucked up to her. Oh, if only a woman was in charge. Hey, who's in charge now of the other guy? Oh, we don't want a woman in charge. We'll have Lola, L-O-L-A, Lola. Go back to where you once belonged. Get back there. March 30th, Walensky, director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, issued a dire warning of his sense of, quote, impending doom. During a briefing at the White House, COVID-19 response team and public health officials, public jerk-offs, health officials, that's a curse word. They're not officials, they're official. I can't say assholes because assholes have a positive function. Walensky said, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to lose the script. I'm going to reflect on a recurring feeling I have of impending doom, she said, growing emotional. Right now I'm scared. I guess you were full of baloney. Your doom didn't happen, but you scared the hell out of people. Just like the major media sells gloom and doom. Scum, prostitutes, media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and their Washington whoremasters. Lottery shot to give 5 people $1 million to get a shot. This DeWine, another little piece of garbage, scum crap head. Look at this little jerk off. DeWine. A little boy, a ballless little piece of shit that closed down Ohio, and now he's opening it up in June 2nd. I say it should be June 1st, or maybe it is June 1st. I say May 31st. And you look at the numbers there. The numbers are low of the people that have gotten vaccinated. 36% of the Ohio population opening up. And the craphead scumbags, lying pieces of garbage who brought us into the COVID war, saying you need an 80% herd mentality. Yeah, the herd, the sheeple, those are the ones. Hey, got a lot of stuff here. I can't go over it all. But I want to go to this. Clashes rock Israel as military kills 14 Hamas leaders. And then you read it. Israel's military said it kills 14 senior Hamas commanders and officials as it intensifies airstrikes targeted against the militant group in Gaza. A militant is anybody that fights back. Like the militants they have in Iraq that want to get the murderous Americans out of there. These militants. Those militants in Afghanistan that want to get the Americans out of there. They're militants. You have a right to invade other people's countries and steal their land, like the Israelis have done in the 1967 war. This is stolen land, according to the Geneva Convention. And they keep building these settlements. They're not settlements, they're real estate developments. And this started when they were trying to throw more people out. And the people were fighting back. And then in your Trends journals, there in details, some 1,000 Israeli military entered into the mosque. Stun grenades, on and on. You're not allowed to fight back. How dare you fight back? And if you call me an anti-Semite, go fuck yourself. Or maybe Lola. I'm not an anti-Semite. And I'm not an anti-American when I call out America for going into other countries that they're committing crimes doing. So save your shit and shove it. Biden is reluctant to get drawn into conflict. Mr. Biden said Wednesday that he spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and that Israel has the right to defend itself. They always use that word. Israel has the right to defend themselves, but no one else does. You stole the land. You got it. I know, Moses came down with 10 commandments, and I think one of them said, this land is your land, this my land, my land. Yeah, from the Mediterranean over to wherever you want to make up. Israel pledges to step up campaign against Hamas militants in Gaza. A militant is when you fight back. Oh, they're shooting rockets. They're rockets, these little things that are going in there. Well, they kill about 5, I think, Israelis. I think about almost 100 Palestinians are dead, 20 children. And they're blowing up buildings, bombs away, and American money to do it. Why are we giving Israel this money? Why are we giving them over $3 billion to use it in weaponry to go kill other people? And I don't want my money going to any country, just to make it clear. I'm not an anti-Semite, don't want to go into Italy, I don't want to go anywhere. But what the hell are we giving money to Israel for when they have a better health system than us, a better education system than us? We're not talking about a third world country. I'll tell you why. Because the politicians are bought out and sold out. From DeSantis to Yankster over here, to one after another. All of them. Very few. I shouldn't say all of them. There have been some Democrats coming out against this. Israel has killed several blah, 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 blah. Here we go. We'll hit them like they've never dreamt possible, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a statement, adding that this is just the beginning. Netanyahu is on the cut, this is from the Financial Times, cusp of losing his premiership, has reasserted himself as, you ready? Mr. Security, his nickname in the Israeli media. Plans to build a coalition to oust him, which required an Islamist party to back a right-wing prime minister, have been suspended. All right? All right? Could you add that up? When all else fails, they take you to war. A lot more to talk about. It's in your Trends Journal. What was the last one? 135 pages, on and on. We told you this was going to happen, when, how, and why. You got to look at the biggest story, what the implications of this are going to be. And it may be hell, and it is hell on earth. It's a concentration camp, Gaza. An outdoor, yeah. I'm fighting for peace. Universal freedom to unite. Freedom, peace, and justice. All religions that the God you believe in, or the system you believe in, believes in freedom, peace, and justice. Join us. We need peace now. Because if we let these mad men and mad women destroy life on earth, we're next. Look what they did with the COVID war, the lives they've ruined. The businesses, the hundreds of millions of lives and livelihoods. It's a time for freedom like never before. I didn't have time to get into this. Madrid triumph. All right? Right here. Diaz Ayuso has said her campaign theme of freedom from demand of the overbearing government played well. It's all these are overbearing governments. They're totalitarian freaks running and ruining our lives. Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com, Occupy Peace, occupypeace.com. We must unite. Can't fight this on my own, man, and I'm doing it. I got to say women, too. I love women better than men, just to make it clear. As I prove in my book over here, when Cincy gave Honey Boy, of everything I've ever written in my life, this is by far my favorite, with me and Teresa McKelvey. Here she is. Look at her holding my hand. I want to hold your hand. Yeah. And that's what I want. Liberty, love, joy, and beauty. And join us May 29th. We're going to have a great time. Thank you for tuning in. And please, do what you can, any way you can, to bring peace on earth, goodwill to men and women. The COVID-19 war has changed the world. But who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.